Hello, and welcome to my art lesson for creating a self-portrait mobile. My name is Meredith Downs. This lesson is tailored for elementary students, but could be modified for high school students. The vocabulary words for this lesson are highlighted in red. Please add these to your notebook. First, we're going to talk about what a mobile is. In the art world, a mobile is a piece of art that moves freely in space and is suspended from either a ceiling or a structure. When a piece of art has the ability to move, it is called kinetic. It can move by the air moving around it or by motors that make it move. We are going to create a mobile that is also a self-portrait. So instead of using shapes like the artist Bruno Munari has done here, you are going to add things about yourself to tell a story about you, a self-portrait. Let's look at some famous artists that created mobiles or kinetic art. Alexander Calder was a prolific American artist that made many mobiles. Prolific means he made a lot of art. His work can be seen all over the world in museums and outside as public art. Many of his mobiles were made out of metal. He also created paintings, jewelry, and wire portraits of people. Gertrude Goldschmidt, known as Gigo, was a German artist that moved to Venezuela and created what she called drawings without paper. Here you can see her with one of her sculptures. Gigo believed that the negative space and the shadows were as important as the sculpture itself. So what is a self-portrait? A self-portrait is an image that tells the story of the artist that created it. It can tell you a little or a lot about them. A self-portrait can be a photograph, a painting, or a sculpture. If we look at Alice Bailey's self-portrait, she doesn't give us much detail about her face, but it includes an artist's palette, so we know she loved to paint. In the middle, we have a self-portrait of Pablo Picasso. This painting was done late in his life and may reflect how he felt about getting older. Next, we see photography by an artist named Vivian Maier. She was employed as a nanny and would walk the streets of New York, taking thousands of pictures of people and sometimes herself. She is known as a street photographer. Here are some more examples of self-portraits. The artist Lillian Wilde creates self-portraits using objects that tell a story about her. This technique is known as bricolage, which means a grouping of objects to tell a story. In the middle, we have a self-portrait by Frida Kahlo. She has painted a portrait of her husband, Diego Rivera, who was also an artist, on her forehead. This could mean that he was very important in her life. Next is a self-portrait by Arno Raphael. He photographs himself in nature, often obscuring his face. If you look closely, you can see his arm between the trees. What do you think he is telling us about how he feels about nature? I've called this project a collage that moves. Collage is combining photos, drawings, and images to create a new piece of art. The elements of the mobile are things that you would add to a collage about you. So let's talk about our assignment for making our mobile. It will be a self-portrait, a collage, and a mobile all in one. You may use images from magazines, photos, drawings, and possibly objects to tell your story. Your mobile must have at least one drawing, must have something about your likes and dislikes, must have something you like to do, and something about what you want to do in the future, like travel, a career, or education. Here are some suggestions. Make a map of your room. Draw a picture of what you see out of your favorite window. Draw a picture of the cover of your favorite book. Take a selfie with your pet. Draw a picture of your favorite food. This is an example of a self-portrait mobile. This student likes soccer, hamburgers, and riding bikes, and likes to read the book Wonder. I will put this and other examples of self-portrait mobiles up in the classroom so you can see how other students decided to share things about themselves. I will put the vocabulary up at the end of this presentation so you can write the vocabulary in your notebooks. The standards for this lesson come from the California Art Standards for Visual Arts, updated in 2019. Identify, describe, and visually document places and/or objects of personal significance. Use art vocabulary to describe personal choices in art making and in creating artist statements. Analyze components in visual imagery that convey messages. The objectives for the self-portrait mobile are that students will learn about what art mobiles are. Students will learn about several artists that create mobiles and kinetic art. Students will learn about what constitutes a self-portrait and about the variety and scope of what a self-portrait can be. Students will create their own mobile that is also a self-portrait. Students will write a reflection on their self-portrait mobile, whether they think that the project expressed accurately who they are, what they learned about their classmates, and students will show in their reflection that they understand what kinetic means. Thank you for visiting my self-portrait mobile art lesson. I'll leave you with a video made by Heinrich Schmidt of an Alexander Calder exhibit at the Tate Modern in London. Notice that some of the mobiles move with the movement of the air in the museum, and some mobiles are very carefully lit, so you can observe their shadows as you observe the mobiles.